Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Skating Utes broadcast. Today is the final regular season game for the women's D1 team. Of course, not the final game of the season because the Utes last night, in their 3-1 win over Colorado State, clinched a berth at the WWCHL Championship Tournament. With your weekend, so we'll be celebrating the seniors. We'll mention them during the broadcast. And of course, Salt Lake would like to make sure that they might like to try and see if they can boost their seed by adding some points, a win and some points and some goals.
Absolutely. It should be a fantastic afternoon here for senior night for these lady skating Utes. And they put in a lot of work. And, there's not many seniors, but the seniors that are here have left a big mark on this program and on the university. So they deservedly so get a very warm and an honoring for the second consecutive season. I should say that too. Utah qualifying in every year in program history for the WWCHL playoffs.
That's right. And Patrick, you were here for the first year where they barely had enough players to actually,
field
have
a
a team.
Yeah, it was, it was kind of crazy to, think about what was going on with this, this very young program, as it started, and now we see it grow into something amazing, and it's only been 2 years.
So we're going to pause briefly here. They're going to be honoring the seniors and a little bit of a pregame.
To start us off this evening, a deep 3 forward from Trinity University, number 21, Katie Fly. For Lake Utah, Katie started with the for the 2021 season, the transfer from Colorado State University during the 2019-2020 inaugural season. Originally from San Diego, California, she's played 34 games, scoring 2 goals and giving 7 assists to the team. Our assistant captain and forward, number 20, Kate Mitchell. From Salt Lake City, Kate started in the 2019 and 2020 inaugural season. She's played 29 games with 3 goals and 11 assists to her credit. And our final senior is captain and forward, number 16, Brooke Burns. Another one-time player from Salt Lake City is Shootout, Missouri. She has 5 goals and 1 assist to credit our team. Fans, we'd like to thank these ladies for their passion for hockey and dedication to Utah hockey. We wish them all the best as they play the final home game and head to the WWCHL tournament in Phoenix next week. And graduating from the University of Utah this Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the County Riders to move the caps for the play of our national anthem. One more big round of applause for all.
All right, folks, welcome back. And as you saw, we had a little pregame celebration for our 4 seniors. That was Allie Litzinger, Kate Michael, Katie Plyer, and team captain Brooke Burns. You can see they were joined by friends and family on the ice with a few presents. Nice to remember and honor our seniors as they set forth on the next phase of their journey.
It's been a pleasure to watch them play here and grow as hockey players here on the ice here in Salt Lake City, and taking a photo with the coaches here. And as we get ready to play some hockey.
Lined up by height.
Yeah, perfectly actually. Amazing things as they get themselves a great degree here from the University of Utah.
Absolutely. So really quickly, we'll go through the starting lineups. The CSU Rams are in their road greens with the white numerals. They're going to be guarding the goal on your right to begin this game. At forward, it'll be number 2, Chrissy Swanson, 14, Kylie Meltz, and 22, Michelle Harcrow. At defense, it'll be 29, Darby Easterday, and 38, Michelle Kazmarek. And in goal for the Rams will be 31, Ellie Strittmater. For the Utes, they are, of course, in their home whites with the red numerals and the black pants. Number 20, Kate Michael. And on defense, Katie Plyer, 21. And number 12, Isabel Hendry. And this afternoon, a little bit of a change in goalie. It'll be Sarah Olson, number 30, guarding the pipes for Utah. And we're getting ready for the initial puck drop.
And Olsen skating to her net over there. She'll tend the pipes for the Utes tonight.
Which they've been doing all season is
Yeah,
one game for one goalie, one game for the other.
It was last weekend, actually, Griswold got both games, so it's been a little bit since Olsen's actually tended the pipes for Utah, but she's a fantastic goaltender. We'll see what she's got to offer for the Utes tonight.
And they are off. And of course, Utah has already, as I mentioned, Utah has already clinched that berth in the WWCHL tournament. However, if they can get another win and score a few more points, that should help their seeding as opposed to starting in the 4th seed, perhaps bump them up to 3rd seed. And anything can happen because it also depends on how the other 3 teams do as well. Now, the other 3 teams that have already gotten in prior to this was ASU, currently seeded number 1. Currently seeded number 2 is Colorado, and number 3 is Grand Canyon University, and of course Utah has that 4th spot. One of the things I wanted to mention as well is talk a little bit about our captain, Brooke Burns, coach, the legendary Morgan Marietti. And she actually is in the Utes record books for scoring the program's first goal of the official season. So in that first game of the season, she scored the team's first goal. And of course, as you mentioned, she led the team to that first WWCHL tournament berth. And did they end up runners-up? I'm sorry, I don't remember that one.
I think they played CSU in the first round, and I believe they lost in the first round.
Okay, all right. And, one of the things that Apple, she's got maturity and professionalism, the kind of thing that this program really embraces. She's been invaluable during this current season under head coach Braden Yo because, of course, she's on a team that's loaded with talent that's very young. Over half of the team are freshmen. And I did contact head coach Yo, and she had a little message for Brooke, and she said, the coaching staff couldn't be prouder of Brooke for finding a legacy that will shape the future of our culture here at Utah Hockey. And that is straight from the mouth of head coach Braden Yo. She's going to graduate from the U with a degree in nursing, and of course, we wish her all the best in the next chapters in her life. And seems like, I don't know, the pace seems to be a little bit slower this afternoon than I think it was yesterday, maybe a little bit less.
Now both teams can kind of relax a little bit, as Utah now knows that they're for sure in the postseason for their conference, and CSU kind of, might just focus on getting back to the basics and figuring out, what they can do better for next season with the players who will be returning.
Right, and CSU actually has some youngsters as well. 3 of their top 5 scorers are rookies this year, so they've also got some things to birth for the Rams. All right, so we've got some activity here. CSU carrying across, and speaking of Gertant, she carries across the blue line, but then she loses it, and looks like that is. I'm sorry, I can't read the number. I'm losing my mind. Oh, that was Dickman. Sorry. And then DiMatisse, 91, with a shot on goal. The rebound comes out. Sarah Olson gives up Billy Jakes, gets CSU on the board first at 16:38 in the first period. So CSU is going to lead 1-0.
And that's what they were missing last night. They needed this
We didn't see that last night.
Last night they needed to get out in front early. And, you know, I don't want to say too little too late, but if you get the first goal on the road in your first game in a playoff.
Rebound. I mean, it wasn't a bad rebound. Olsen didn't deflect it in front of the goal. She actually tried to deflect off the side, but Jakes was right there to pounce on it. Kazmarek tries to clear it all the way around, but it's kept in. And Weber sends it in deep into the back here in the Utah zone. I'm sorry, that wasn't Weber, that was number 8, Christine Pimentel. And Gracie Capps, number 4, versus number 22, Michelle Harcroft, taking the face-off. CSU controls, but it actually dribbles out of the zone, so Watler has to take it and try and regroup. Pimentel sends it around the board to Stevenson. And CSU tries to keep it in, but isn't able to do so, and Plyer picks it up. Now Capps has got it. She's got some wheels. She skates across the blue line. Through the circle, she gets nice defense by CSU, shutting her down there, and they retrieve the ball. And here comes, looks like Meltz crossing the blue line. She goes for a wrist shot, deflected, and Olsen decides to pounce on it. And she's got a little company in the front, so she holds it.
So the only team left that's ranked above Utah in the WWCHL standings that has yet to play a game is the University of Colorado. They play at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tonight. Arizona State season over, GCU season over, and then Utah, this is their last game. So at the CU Boulder Rec Center ice rink. So
and Denver is near the bottom of the WWCHL rankings.
We can safely assume that Colorado will most likely walk away there with a W, and so Utah, you know, obviously this game isn't as important as last night's game, but you still want to walk away with the win this evening and get back into this contest.
And it sounds like, to me, if that's the case, then what could happen is we could have a new number 1 seed going into the tournament, which if Utah comes in at the 4, and number 4 as it presently is, could change who they're going to face in that first round.
It's safe to assume, I think ASU is going to get that first seed, yeah.
All right, puck is in the CSU zone. Isabel Hendry digging it out from the board, skates it across the circle, crosses to Capps. Nice save by Strittmater. Utah keeps it in. Capps again, nice centering pass, goes all the way through. Hendry saves it from going out, sends it back up to Capps. Hendricks again sends it back along the boards. Just gets past Brooke Byrne. Wasn't quite able to get a stick on it. McCain sends it in deep to Cruikshank. Cruikshank fighting for it with Watler. She goes for a centering pass, but it gets picked off. And here comes Gertan, who's got some speed, but she gets a nice poke check by McCain. And she picks it up again in the neutral zone. Oh, and then DeMatisse picks it up. She skates across the blue line herself, being pursued by Capps, who picks. Utah goes for a line change. Elkin picks it up, sends it around the boards, but it is picked up again by Weber, and she sends it back. Weber to Plyer, back to Weber. Oh, and then nice pick, the move there by Swanson, and she's got one-on-one with the goalie. Oh my goodness, it goes off the post. Olsen got lucky on that. Utah finally managed to get out to Michael. Michael carries across the blue line, sends it up to Plyer. Plyer skates it across the blue line. Oh, and she gets tripped, and we are going to have a penalty. Just after she crossed the blue line, one of the CSU players tried for a stick check, a poke check. It looks like it's going to be Olivia Hansen, and instead she got skate. So she's going to sit for 2 minutes for tripping.
And they need to actually, going back to what you were saying, that there might be some seating changes. Arizona State might not have that top spot locked up. We have the rankings here as of before this weekend, and you can chalk up one win for Colorado last night, and then most likely a win today for them, which could put them pretty close to ASU. I'm not sure if they'll have enough to overtake them. And GCU, they're also idle this weekend. If Utah is able to get the win today, I think more than likely they would pass GCU and actually get the third seed. So I apologize for what I said, but Anita, I think you were right there. Or if Utah wins tonight, they actually would play. They get the third seed and most likely play Colorado more than anything. But there's also a slight chance that could be ASU as well.
Well, it's better to be lucky than good.
Right.
So that was just a guess. And again, none of this is official. We're just kind of looking at the numbers and trying stats
Yeah,
and usable information
it's
on the women's leagues.
It's a shame, like the WWCHL, there's not much out there in the way of stats or records or anything. Like we said last night in a previous broadcast. I mean, we're literally crunching these numbers WCHL
for the qualification
last night. They got that, but as far as seeding, we're still kind of doing those hand calculations ourselves.
And Katie Plyer does what she's been doing all season. Hendry with a nice wrister straight up the middle, and Plyer is right there to tip it in. It actually tips it up top shelf. Utah ties it up at 11:39 in the first period. And that power play goal again was against when Hansen went in the box for tripping. But Plyer's been doing that all season. She parked herself in that crease, waiting for deflection, and knows what to do with it when she sees the puck coming her way. And that was a good power play conversion about a minute into that power play by Utah. All right, Utah again trying to get something started here. Howell sends it in deep into the CSU zone behind the net. Mells tries to get it out, but it gets poked back in, picked up by Elkin. She tries to send it around to Kazmarek. Howell picks it up in the neutral zone, sends it along the boards. And looks like it's going to be icing.
Interestingly enough, just looking also at previous meetings between all of these, but they have not beaten Grand Canyon, who would most likely, with the Utah win, barring a big upset from Grand Canyon, most likely not see them in the playoffs. So Utah will most likely see.
That sounds all good.
It's Utah has some of these teams' numbers, but you know what you have to do tonight in order to earn yourselves a victory.
Absolutely. That's an excellent point. Good thing I have you to help. Carries across the blue and herself, comes right up the slot. Oh my goodness, good wrist shot. I think maybe Stripmater didn't see that because it went right by her. Oh. Looking for somebody to pass, who tries to get it up to Hansen, but CSU intercepts. What? Puck in the corner. And Utah recovers. Sends it up, gets deflected by a defender stick. I think that was Hansen got her stick in there. Stevenson tries to keep it in zone. Nice little poke check there by Harkrow. Harkrow, one of the better players, sends it around the boards to Weber, who sends it up to Crookshank by her feet. Still fighting for it, trying to keep it in. Linzinger tries to keep it in. Unable, trying to clear the zone, of course. Unable to do so. And Torrey sends a nice wrister fight.
Colorado State shooting 100% tonight. One shot on goal, one goal.
12 minutes into the period. All right. And then CSU going in with a shot on goal, deflected by Olsen. Puck ends up in the CSU zone. She fights for it. She sends it in deep. Michael goes and chases after it. She's down there with Easterday. Watler. But Hendry is there. Is there to keep it in. Still fighting for the Michael. Michael sends it up the boards to Hansen, who is perfectly waiting for that. She carries across the blue line, skates across the slot. Intercept a centering pass, which was probably a smart idea. Boy, she had to really come out a long ways out of her crease. That was like a do or die move there. Facing off against Emily Jakes, another fine skater for the CSU Rams. Stevenson and Burns. Puck bounces off. Nice save by Strickmater. Loose. And Strickmater lost the rebound for a second. She has to fall on it. And
played as a .912 save percentage, which is not even the best on her team. We actually haven't seen Sabrina Rittner, who is their best. Strickmater as well.
Right.
Very
Last
high
night
save
it was
percentage.
Tegan Reese, who had no minutes. I believe that was her first game. On behind the net. Meltz finally managed to squirt it out, but then it gets picked up by Burns, and she's going to skate it in herself, cross the blue, hold it. So we'll have a face-off to her left. Swanson sends it up to Mells. Mells skates across the blue line. She's got Harkrow with her. And then it gets poke check loose by some nice defense by the Utes. Plyer picks it up, skates it into the CSU zone. Saved by Strittmater. Utah picks up the rebound. That's Hansen. Hansen fighting for along the board. And she sends it a little too deep. It's going to be icing. And the puck's going to come back to the ramp. SU controls and then loses it. And now the puck's kind of just bouncing around. Still waiting for somebody to pick it up. Hendry gets poke check loose by Harcrow, and then Hendry goes in, tries to save it. And Harcrow tried to send it across the board. Instead, it went rolled up, down. Tries a centering pass to Caps. Caps from the circle, another wrister, and in it goes. In the circle is a pass from Cruikshank, and just almost as soon as she had it, she didn't take even one step, and at 4:18 in the first period.
Better point producers here for Utah, averaging herself about a point a game, which if you
Salt Lake City, and one of the talented freshmen that we've got to look forward to watching. Deflected by Olsen. And puck ends up in the corner. Got Taylor in there for sends it across.
It looks like it'll be Alexis Litzinger getting credit for the Cruikshank, who Cruikshank just adding on to her point total. 15th in the ACHA in points. Good enough for
players.
I mean, she's unbelievable. She's top 10 in the ACHA in goals as well. She's 10. And to have a top 10 goal scorer on your team, that's
all-tournament player.
And all WWCHL second team for Grace Cruikshank, and I'm pretty sure.
And Hansen tries to send it up to Michael, fighting with it with Harcrow.
Some Utah colored pads. Her friend Griswold doesn't have that quite yet.
Yeah, we were commenting a Utah
goaltender.
player, a goaltender. All right.
You in their green, so that doesn't help either. But
and the problem is Utah pads are not cheap, so it's not the Gracie Caps taking that versus
gotta have
Michelle Harcrow.
CCM. Maybe she goes to the Olympics.
There you go.
That'd be amazing. But women's hockey definitely on the rise. The NHL players aren't going, but for the women, I mean, the women who are there are the best of the best in the country. I know 4 years ago, but really, put some respect on the women's hockey game. There's, a perfect, the United States and Canada, in the North American continent in international plays really helps that.
She skates it along by herself, but she's got two defenders to beat. She skates it in through the circle behind the net to Dickman. Dickman goes for a wrister that gets deflected. Elkin picks it, and Pimentel picks it up, scoops it up, skates as the puck. Looks like that was Watler who poked that loose. Plyer picks it up in the corner. She skates it around. She's trying to give her a little help. Hansen chases it again behind the net. And Taylor from CSU picks it up and manages to. Plyer sends it in and hits the linesman, and we end the period that way. Teams go to the locker room. It's going to be 2 Utah, 1 CSU.
From especially against a team like CSU, who possesses a lot of skill on this team. Back after going down 1 goal very early on in this contest. Very impressive. These girls are hockey, and they're here to finish their season on a winning streak. And you know what? You never know. They win this game, like you were saying. They might move up to 3.
A significant mark to shoot for, especially
Absolutely.
in your first kind of season after the long break.
Right, and your first season with a full bench, I guess you can say, is a very significant achievement. I mean, and a lot of people say, over 500, that's just average. Finishing over 500 is very hard to do, and any sport that you got it. It's an achievement that should be celebrated, and Utah's going out there tonight, and they know what they're doing. I mean, but they still know what they have to do tonight. It might not be as important of a game as last night, but it's still.
With the second period.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home.
Welcome to Game Day Fun. Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
Welcome to world-class research.
Welcome to the arts.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that. I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this will be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
This is Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts, so instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. A lot of thought goes into choosing these dogs. Number one, they've got to be able to handle the cold. Number two, they got to be pretty hardy. And three, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is going to chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you want to do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, and within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home, and Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home.
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
Anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear.
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
Welcome to world-class research.
Welcome to the arts.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to the bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might fade and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
All right, folks, welcome back. We're just about to start the second period. Utah leads CSU, Colorado State 2-1. They've significantly outshot the Rams. CSU, Patrick mentioned their efficiency. CSU's only had one shot that first period, which led to a goal. University of Utah has had 12, and they have 2 goals. And we're off. And Kazmarek sends it into the Utah zone, gets picked up by Hendry. And that gets picked off by Harcrow. Easterday tries to send it back in and then gets scooped up. That looks like it's by, and she's going to skate across. I'm sorry, Michael. She gets across, centering pass just out of the reach of Katie Plyer. Puck ends up in the corner. She's fighting for that back in the corner. Finally squirts out, ends up behind the net. Easterday sends it around the boards to Mells. Mells tries to poke it out, but it's kept in by Pimentel, who's still fighting for it. She finally sends it up to Hansen. Hansen sends it along behind the boards to Stevenson. Gets picked off by one of the CSU players, but Pimentel keeps it in. I'm sorry, Weber. Weber keeps it in. Sorry, number 6, not number 8. Weber keeps it in. Mells of CSU skates it out. Sends a nice forward pass to Gertan just out of her reach, and Gertan instead skates in to go and get a line change. Utah recovers. Brooke Burns tries to send it up deep, but it gets picked off. McCain fighting for it, and then here comes DiMattice. She's crossed the blue line, and she gets hauled down. And boy, that's going to be a tripping on Utah.
Looks like the referee made the signal for elbowing against
elbowing,
McCain.
Okay. McCain, yep. So she's going to sit for 2 minutes. And looks like the Utah penalty killing unit will be Howell, Caps, Dickman, and I can't quite see the number of the fourth player. I think that's by 28. And CSU's got a chance. DiMattice had it by her feet, but she loses control of it, and Utah sends it all the way to the other end of the ice. Easterday picks it up, sends it along the boards to Mells. Mells skates it from her own zone. She's being back-checked by Dickman, but Harcrow scoops it up, skates across the blue line, skates it across the circle. Nice centering pass to Swanson, who just misses with a little shovel back shot. Swanson again at the circle, another wrister. Nice save by Olsen. Puck ends up in the corner. Swanson picks it up. Out to the point to Easterday. Easterday with a wrister from the point. Goes wide. I think it might have hit somebody on the way over, so it got deflected. Mells keeps it in and sends in, but nice little scoop there. Dickman sends it all the way to the end of the ice. 1 minute, 8 seconds left in the penalty. Gertan. Oh, Gertan gets checked by Hansen, but she managed to hang on to the puck. And she goes for a wrister, and Olsen has to squeeze it. And we're going to have a face-off to Olsen's left. And Utah and Colorado State side go for a line change. Now the penalty killing unit for Utah is Hendry. And Hansen, Plyer, and Weber. Weber sends it along the boards, trying to clear it out, but Easterday sends it all the way back. Taylor picks it up in her own corner. She's looking, in the Utah corner. Easterday to Weber. Colorado State trying to do a little cycling, and then finally Easterday sends it across to Elkin. Elkin sends it in deep, gets picked up by Hendry. Hendry tries to clear the zone, and she does. Nice clearing there by Hendry. Stripmater stops the puck and tries to get something going to her own team. Colorado's still having trouble getting the puck out of their own zone. Finally gets scooped up by Elkin. She sends it along the boards to Swanson. Swanson back to Elkin. And Elkin managed to clear the zone, but it gets scooped right up by Howell of Utah. In the neutral zone, she sends it back in deep. 6 seconds left in the penalty kill for Utah. And McCain is champing at the bit, and here she comes. Both teams back to full strength. Here comes Swanson, skates across the blue line, but her shot not very successful, gets stopped by Howell. And Utah clears it off to the other end. And then Brooke Burns skates down there, tries for a centering pass, gets deflected out. Crookshank and Caps are there. Finally gets picked up by Bai. She goes for a hard wrister from the high slot, and the rebound comes back out. And Utah had a chance there. It looked like McCain was there for the rebound, but unable to get it in the net. Oh, sorry, that was Cruikshank, unable to get in the net. Puck ends up in the Utah zone in the corner. And fighting for the puck in the corner still. Still fighting. Blaha is back there, along with Thomas. And finally, it looks like Caps scoops it up and sends it to Cruikshank. And nice little poke check by Kazmarek, who sends it back into the Utah zone. Stevenson picks it up in the corner, sends it across behind the net. And oh, the pass gets a little bit past, and it's going to go all the way to the other end, and we'll have icing. That pass was just beyond the reach of Captain Brooke Burns, and so kept on going into the other net. Other zone. 15:36 left in the second period. Utah effectively kills off the power play attempt and still leads 2-1. Harcrow facing off versus Caps. Utah recovers it from the draw. Cruikshank carries it up, sends pass across to Caps. It's a dynamic duo, those two, Cruikshank and Caps. Nice little wrister by Caps, goes wide. Rebound ends up behind the net. Oh, and just out of the reach of Allie Lissinger. And Weber's fighting hard trying to get that puck. She finally managed to get away from Swanson, but then gets poke check loose again. Here comes Harcrow, and Harcrow right in front. Hard shot on Olsen, and she's there for the rebound. Sam Melzer, number 14, was there for the rebound?
Believe so. I mean, that was a that was a really nice
follow-up.
rebound gather there. I mean, you if you're Olsen, that's a little bit frustrating, but I mean, you give up a rebound like that. There's not many players who won't convert on that opportunity, and
Utah's
CSU right back in
broke
it.
down a little bit right there too, which allowed Harcrow to pick that puck up and have the initial shot. So CSU gets another point on the board. It's 3-2 at 15:05 in the second period. I'm sorry, ties it up 2-2 in the second period. DeMatteis with another shot and another bad rebound that Utah the defense managed to stick away, but boy, that was another scary rebound. And the puck ends up deep in the Utah zone. McCain chasing after it, brings it along behind her own net. Tries to get it up to Cruikshank. Sten sends it along the other way to Plyer. Plyer skates it through her own circle, trying to clear it out. It gets poked loose and sent back. McCain tries to send it deep, but it gets picked off by Jakes. And finally, Capshaw comes up with it. Hansen comes up with it, and she skates it across the neutral zone, across the blue line. Gives a pass to Dickman, and Dickman kind of loses the handle on it. And Strittmater comes out, smothers the puck, and so we're going to have a face-off to her left. 14-14 left in the second period. Colorado showing a little life this second period.
Yeah, the Rams, that's all they needed yesterday was really just that first goal. I mean, Utah obviously answered back, but they were by no means were they out of this game when they were down by a goal, and they knew that, and their play is really showing that now.
All right, Utah controls. By from near the blue line. Nice wrister. Bai's got a very strong wrister, which she can use from close to the blue line very effectively. So we'll have a face-off again in the Utah zone. It's going to be Caps facing off against Harcrow. And Utah controls. Katie Plyer pokes it into the center, but it gets poked back out. Oh, and a nice opportunity there from the slot. Nice save by Strittmater. And the puck gets all the way by everyone. It's going to be a race between, looks like, Stevenson and Swanson. And looks like Stevenson and Swanson get there about the same time. And the puck pops out. And oh my gosh, here comes an opportunity. That looks like it was the Colorado State player. That was Melz who had a chance there. Puck still behind the net. Fighting for it. Melz fighting for it with Bai. And finally it pops out to Howell. Back to Bai. She sends it around along the boards. Easterday trying to keep it in. More fighting for the puck along the boards. Stevenson's there. Cruikshank's there. Blaha's there. Easterday's there. Puck finally pops loose and finally dribbles across the blue line out of the zone. Gets picked up by Plyer in the neutral zone. I'm sorry, by Howell in the neutral zone. She sends it in deep and then goes for a change. 12:55 left in the second period. Both teams tied up 2-2, and boy, this looks like a totally different game from last night. Colorado, I don't know what happened, but maybe they got their altitude legs back, but they're looking a lot more lively this afternoon than they were yesterday. All right, Hal Plyer again with trying for a rep round. We've got a delayed penalty on Colorado State. And sure enough, they call the penalty. It's going to be roughing on one of the Colorado State players. Looks like it's going to be Easterday. It's going to go sit for 2 minutes. That's Darby Easterday for roughing. So Utah goes on the power play at 12:31 in the second period. They're able to convert on their first power play opportunity. Let's see if they can do that again. And the power play unit looks like it's Hendry, Capps, Hansen, Plyer, and Weber. Nice wrister by Hendry, goes wide. Capps picks it up in the corner. And boy, she's getting back-checked hard by Watler. Finally, Plyer comes in, scoops it up. Hendry with a wrister from the goal line, from the point. Hansen picks it up, starts cycling with Plyer. Nice little cycle they got going in the corner. She's looking for somebody. She skates it through the circle, goes for a wrister that goes wide. Hendry picks it up, sends it in deep. Here comes Cap. She tries to skate it across the circle. She's in traffic, and it ends up sliding towards the net. And finally, Elkin managed to poke that puck away. It dangerously bounced around in the crease. Utah retrieves. 1 minute, 13 seconds left in the penalty. Utah power play. And oh my goodness, we have a little bit of post-whistle activity, which is pretty unusual in the women's game. But again, everybody was piled up there in the crease, and if you are Colorado State, your job is to get everyone away from your goalie and clear the crease. All right, 1 minute, 10 seconds left in the Utah power play. Hansen for Utah, Harcrow for Colorado State taking the face-off. And Utah controls. Stevenson sends it deep to Cruikshank. Oh man, that's almost a hit, but not a hit, I guess, no call. Cruikshank there on one of the Colorado, looks like it was on Elkin. Puck ends up back in the corner, Elkin recovers. Tries to clear it out, but Stevenson keeps it in. Wrister from the point, goes wide. Cruikshank skates it across the slot, keeps skating it across into the circle. Nice little shot from the circle, and it's going to be held by the goalie. And boy, now we really have something going here. And if you're the goalie, you cannot leave your crease. So it'll be interesting to see if they make a call on that.
I doubt it. I doubt they'll do anything. Referees are
reluctant to make that call.
Yeah. I think so. I think this is some of the officiating staff that was part of the loss that Utah had against Arizona State last weekend. You never want to blame anything on the officials, but I wouldn't be surprised if nothing was called here from the goaltender of Colorado State.
Because my understanding is the goalie cannot leave their crease, and Strittmater clearly skated quite a ways out of her crease, but it looks like we've got Olivia Howe going to go to the box for 10 minutes.
Dykeman's going to the box too.
Yeah, we've got two, Michaela Dykeman as well. So the two of them are going to sit in the box. Nobody from Colorado State.
That makes sense. Their goalie pushes one of our players down, and
two of ours go in the box.
Yeah, that adds up.
Okay. Well, and unfortunately,
there is actually a Ram player heading to the box.
All right. So number 55 for Colorado State, that's Mallory Thomas. She is going to go in the box. We haven't seen the times yet, and unfortunately, it was all verbally communicated, so we didn't get hand signals. We'll have to wait for the live stats to update to tell us, sort out all the penalties, and they haven't put anything on the board yet. And remember, Darby Easterday is still serving the last 39 seconds of her initial penalty. That was a 2-minute penalty. So we've got 4-on-4, I believe, skating on the ice. And so for Utah, that 4 is going to be Hendry, Hansen, Capps, and I can't quite make out the far person. I'm going to guess that's McCain, but we'll have to wait till she skates around a little bit so I can see her back number. So we've got 2 minutes, for Dickman, and it looks like the other two are going to be offsetting penalties, and so Utah will be shorthanded as soon as Easter Day comes out. All right, here comes Grace Capps. Hallie Hansen. She decides, I'm not going to take that. She skates it in and backhands it into the goals. Utah takes the lead 3-2 at 11:01 in the second period.
Wow, what a move there by Hansen.
Yeah, what a move.
That was unbelievable. I mean, that was such a nice move.
Poise.
I mean, you can see
Such
she turned
poise.
right around just before she hit the red line. She turned on the jets, and like I've said before, last weekend, she knows exactly when to turn those jets on. She knew she could beat that defender. She made a little bit of room for herself in the Rams' defensive zone, and makes a really nice move in front. Pokes it 5-hole, and the Utes take a 3-2 lead.
All right. So we're still skating 4-on-4 for another 26 seconds. And Cruikshank goes for it. She skates it across the blue line, and Strittmatter makes a nice save. Strittmatter makes a nice save. All right, puck squirts loose, ends up in the Utah zone. Bai chases it down in her own zone, skates behind the net, and keeps skating. She keeps going, carries across the neutral zone, across the blue line herself, down the left wing, and into the corner. And she's looking for centering pass. She gets checked off the puck, and it looks like that's Taylor who picks it up. And now Easterday is released from her penalty box, so it's now 5-on-4. She joins the party. Kazmarek of CSU tries to carry it across. She goes down, no penalty. Still fighting for the puck. It's still in the Utah zone. And finally, Stevenson picks it up behind her own net. She's being back-checked hard by, looks like, Harcrow, who actually steals the puck from her, does a quick little wraparound centering pass. Big scramble, but Olsen's able to deflect it away. Ends up all the way in the far end. Hansen picks it up, sends it up to Harcrow. They're a powerful duo, Harcrow and Hansen. She's centering pass to Gertan. Boy, they've got their power line up for sure. Gertan's another dangerous player. Nice centering pass by Harcrow, gets deflected off someone's skate. DeMatteis tries to send it in there. Easterday sends it in deep, but it gets deflected loose by Stevenson. Stevenson's working hard there to make sure to keep that puck out of the middle. And finally, the puck bounces it around and ends up in Sarah Olsen's lap. 19 seconds left on the Utah penalty. 9:28 left of the period. Utah leads 3-2.
Utah actually didn't think about mentioning it yesterday. I didn't cross my mind until now, but Utah last night was their first win ever against Colorado State.
Oh.
They actually got swept in the full season series their first year, losing both home games and both road games to the Rams. So Utah definitely a little bit of a revenge tour this year, getting wins on teams they didn't beat their first year. And I'm sure Colorado State maybe not used to Utah, being in this position.
The upper hand. Well, and, we've talked about how strong the Western Collegiate Hockey League is in the D1 men. The Western Women's Collegiate Hockey League is also a very strong conference. It's got some really powerful teams. We've got Arizona State. We've got Colorado State, Grand Canyon. So again, the competition is a very high level in this conference.
Yeah, hopefully they can send multiple teams to the tournament. If ASU doesn't win the WWCHL, then I believe more than likely two teams from the WWCHL would go. If ASU does end up winning it, there will only be one representative. There's only one representative in the top 15 rankings right now.
Okay. I see what
but still, definitely a strong conference, I think. The rankings don't tell the full story, the whole time. And a team like Utah right now, I honestly think they can compete with some of the league's best right now. They're playing good hockey at the right time.
They're really clicking right now. Yeah, they're absolutely clicking. Cruikshank to Plyer, and Strittmatter makes a save. Somebody loses their stick in the process. And of course, both teams are back to full strength now. And we've got Harcrow facing Hansen in the Colorado State zone. Nice little one-timer by Dickman. Stick save by Strittmater. Puck ends up and Plyer tries to spin it around, but it gets poke check loose and ends up in the neutral zone. Weber sends it back in deep. Scooped up by Elkin behind her own net. She sends it all the way around, but it's intercepted by Howell. Nice little deflection there by Dickman, heads up there on the puck. And then here we go from the slot. Wrister by Save, deflected. Puck is still loose. Nobody's blown the whistle. It's still there. Utah retains control. By with another wrister from the blue line. Bounces off a couple bodies, ends up in the corner. 8 minutes, 2 seconds left in the period. Utah leading 3-2. By's got another chance from the blue line. Another wrister. This time, nice nifty glove save there by Strittmater. She had that all the way. The second period is, again, very, very lively, very a lot of,
back and forth.
Chances,
It's Utah, being able to go up 3-2. That's a big positive to take away if you're a Utes fan. And, Colorado State is not, they're really hanging with Utah today, unlike yesterday. Honestly, I think it was, the travel day might have hurt the Rams a little bit in last night's game, because I feel like you're seeing a more representative effect of their team this evening. I feel like this is Colorado State, the team that we, should have seen last night. But, every team's got to deal with travel. It's not just exclusive to the Rams. So learning how to play on bus legs is also very important. So.
All right, so Colorado State, Emily Jakes, number 8, is going to go in the box. 2 minutes for interference. Utah's power play unit's going to come out, and I'm sure they're going to try and convert. Hendry skates it across the slot. Nice wrister from the mid-slot. I think Strittmater got a piece of that and deflected away. Caps has it. Nice little drop pass to Hendry, who sends it all the way across to Hansen, who kind of loses the handle on it. So she's got to bring it under control, and she's being harassed by Bertan. DeMatisse intercepts the pass and sends it out. And it's scooped up by Hendry behind her own goal, and she's being pursued by Gertain. Up to Caps. Caps skates it through the neutral zone. Nice little pass to Michael. And then CSU is trying to clear the zone, but Hansen picks it up, sends it in. Behind the net, skates it behind the net. She's being back-checked hard by Mells. Stevenson joins the party, sends it back in deep. Caps sends it, goes for the wraparound, stick deflected by Strittmater. Easterday in her own corner, tries to send it along the boards, and it ends up going up and over the glass. 53 seconds left in the penalty on Jakes of Colorado State. 6:39 left in the second period. And we will, of course, have a face-off. Looks like it's going to be just outside the blue line of the Colorado State zone. And it'll be Harcrow facing off against Michaela Dickman. Harcrow wins the draw, and she sends it in deep. Olsen stops it. Oh, and tries to send it behind the net, but it doesn't quite go. Harcrow's right there to scoop it up, and then here's Mel's with a wrister from the high slot that goes high. Olsen jumps on the puck, and we're going to face off in the Utah zone. 39 seconds left in the penalty against Colorado State. And taking the face-off for Colorado State in the Utah zone is going to be Harcrow. And for Utah, it's going to be Gracie Caps. Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be Dickman. Utah controls. Stevenson, oh, she whiffs on that centering pass, and Harcrow's right there to scoop it up, but the puck slides all the way through, gets all the way through, and Gracie Caps scoops it up, skates it across the blue line. And it gets poked loose. Stevenson sends it in, back into the zone. Crookshank's trying to pick it up, but then it gets poked loose again and ends up all the way on the other end. Seconds ticking down in the Colorado State penalty, just 10 seconds left. Dickman in her own zone, sends it up in the neutral zone to Crookshank. And Elkin in the corner, sends it back around the boards. And both teams back to full strength. Jakes heads for the bench. Utah fighting for the puck, Caps picks it up. Taylor joins the party, and both teams back skating 5-on-5. Utah working hard to keep that puck in the Colorado State zone, and Colorado finally gets something going here. Taylor picks it up through the neutral zone. She sends it across the blue line. Bai is back there to pick it up. She's being trailed by Meeker Gordon. And Hansen tries to keep it in, fighting there with Michael. And finally, Utah managed to control, and here comes Bai. Through the neutral zone, she sends it in deep. 5 minutes left in the period. And puck ends up coming all the way back around. Plyer picks it up, skates it through the neutral zone, makes a nice little move. Now she carries it herself across the blue line. And from the left circle, nice little slapper. Nice save by Strittmater. And Jakes picks it up, and she skates across the blue line. Now she goes for a backhand shovel pass that goes wide, and it bounces out dangerously in front of the crease, but it gets poked away, fortunately. Colorado State trying to keep it in. Hansen keeps it in, manages to send it back over to to Gertan. Gertan in the corner with Michael and Hansen. Finally squirts loose, and Utah sends it all the way around. That's McCain sends it all the way around, and it does clear the zone, so Colorado State has to come back out and regroup, which they do. Jake sends it up to, that was to DeMatisse, but she loses the handle on it. And Colorado State regroups again in the neutral zone, but it gets picked up by McCain, and she sends it up. Hansen fighting for it, sends it back in, deep. Weber chases it, has it behind the net, sends it up to Michael. Michael's trying to fight for that puck and gets scooped up by Hansen. She skates it loose to Plyer. Plyer carries it across the neutral zone. She doesn't really have much help, so she sends it in deep and goes to the bench for a much-needed change, much-deserved change. 3:29 left in the period. Utah still leading Colorado State 3-2. And we can see today the emphasis seems to be, for Utah at least, seems to be on making sure that they really develop their plays and develop, not just go for a shooting match, but develop their plays.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job passing the puck around. I've also noticed they've also been doing a more so of a, let's try and tip the puck in. Obviously, plays that you see, like from Hallie Hansen, a breakaway goal, that's not really built into the strategy. That's just her having a good hockey IQ and knowing when to, turn the Jets on and, make a play when she sees an opening. But I've noticed Utah definitely more of a upfront net presence, sending those players down there in the low slot in front, doing some, defensive battles with some of those defenders there from CSU. I mean, just moments ago, Michaela Dykeman actually had a good opportunity to tip a puck in the net. She got that puck on her backhand, and the technique was there. She wasn't able to convert, unfortunately, but I'm seeing a lot more of that from Utah tonight than I have in previous games.
Yeah, and again, that will be important, especially when they start playing these stronger teams. They're going to have to really make sure they rely on their playmaking and their setup. And
having a physical net front presence, is also very important to when you're playing, teams like ASU or Colorado, who they're going to keep a girl there and stick someone right in front of the goaltender, someone big and physical. And for Utah to be able to stick with that and play their game is important, especially down the stretch here in the playoffs. You can't be afraid to play physical. The physical teams are usually the ones that are victorious at the end.
Yes, absolutely. And the one thing that I would say that this Utah women's team does not have a lot of is size. Katie Plyer is probably the biggest, strongest gal on the team, but everybody else is actually on the small side for a hockey.
Right, yeah, they don't really have those big players, and you could really notice it last week against ASU. And size is definitely important on a hockey team. But you know what? The things that Utah does to overcome that size is they're also, I think, one of the fastest teams that I've seen. I think ASU's probably got to be the fastest team I've seen, but Utah, for sure, the second fastest team. They're able to skate, and, they're able to skate a full 60 minutes. Their players are pretty well conditioned. Makes sense, being here in Utah. But, having that speed to overcome for some of the physicality issues, that's you want to have some physicality and you want to have the size, but sometimes you don't. That's just a physical limitation of the game. Sometimes your players just aren't, but they don't have the size. So you make up for that in the speed department.
Wrist shot from Elkin on the high slot ends up in a crowd, and Utah ends up with it. Bai sends it up, and it goes skipping all the way after a little deflection by Dickman, ends up skipping all the way up to the other goalie, Strittmater, and she decides to hang on to it. 1 minute left in the second period. Utah leads 3-2, still out shooting Colorado by a significant amount. 13 shots on goal this period. CSU has definitely stepped it up. They've got 9 shots on goal, but haven't been able to convert but 1. Plyer with a nice little slapper right off of the face-off, goes a little wide. McCain sends it back in. Stripmater deflects it off into the corner, a very wise move by the goalie. Hansen picks it up. She goes for center pass, and there's Plyer right there. And in addition to Plyer, you've got another Utah player. Was that Michael in there, scrapping it away? Yep, it was Kate Michael was in there, Plyer was in there, a bunch of bodies in there. Puck did not go in, but this is exactly the kind of thing, Patrick, you were talking about. Is they've got to muscle their way in there and not get pushed out.
Again, yeah, that puck was really close to finding its way in. It was again
everywhere.
Like we saw last night a couple times too. Right by that goal line there. But yeah, the net foot presence is there from Utah, which you like to see. That's not something I've seen, in the first year of the program. I think that the coaching staff is really stressing that, don't be afraid to use your body to your advantage to make plays. Push a player, in front of that goal and get yourself an opportunity to get a nice little tip inside of the net, because, if you have some strong shooters like the Utes have, like Grace Cruikshank can rip a shot, and you can have Michaela Dykeman down low and get her blade on that puck and, tip herself in a goal.
Yep, absolutely. And as I said, Katie Plyer has been instrumental in that particular, that's her forte right there, because she's strong enough, big enough that she's not going to get pushed out of the crease.
Right.
And she's just waiting for that tip in.
And you know what? Honestly, I think Utah's fine with, saying, oh, yeah, we don't have the size. Just wanted to make sure that Utah wasn't going to score there while I was trying to say that.
No, absolutely. I was waiting too.
But yeah, I think Utah is saying, it's okay. We don't have to have the big players.
Right, the big tall players.
We're fine with having our Grace Cruikshanks, our Hallie Hansens, and Michaela Dykmans of the world, and we'll take the skilled hockey players. And yeah, size is good, but sometimes some of the bigger hockey players don't necessarily have the same skills that you see from a talent like Grace Cruikshank and Michaela Dykman.
Caps is another one.
Right,
She's very
and Caps,
small,
right.
Boy, she is fast.
Oh my gosh, whenever she's on the ice, I feel like she can't be more than 5 feet away from the puck. She's got that speed. She's skating down every play. She's always on the forecheck. I mean, she's another gifted talent that Utah is really, really happy to have on this team, because, she makes a difference out there on the ice. And while she's not the tallest player in the league, she definitely is one of the fastest.
Yeah, and so, we're looking forward to good things. These are great observations, Patrick, because this is, again, I said it last night, they're peaking at the right time, just as they head into the tournament. So it's going to be really important that everybody's kind of clicking and grooving. We're seeing some new things we didn't see at the beginning of the season, which, again, is encouraging.
Right. There's a reason why. I think much like you would do if you're a runner or if you're, in a different sport where you're tailoring your routine to ramp up as the season comes to a close for the championships, whatever it might be. They're doing that with the hockey team here at the U. They're gearing their girls up for the playoffs. The plan is working right now. Everything's gone to plan, and the Utes, they're gearing up for a good playoff run.
All right, well, we will be back for the third period very shortly. Stand by.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party.
Sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
have no trail. We are tough as nails. Come on.
Welcome to Real World Experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get out, and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get out, and walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this will be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
This is Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts, so instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. A lot of thought goes into choosing these dogs. Number one, they've got to be able to handle the cold. Number two, they got to be pretty hardy. And three, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is going to chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you want to do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, and within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home, and Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
have no trip. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Of love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water
Welcome to new
meets the
friends.
sun. We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
All right, folks, we are back. It is the final period of the 2021-22 regular season for the Women's D1. Of course, as we've mentioned, they are going to the Western Women's Collegiate Hockey League Championship Tournament in Tempe at Oceanside at ASU's facility next week. And their season is not completely done, but this will be the last broadcast here from the Salt Lake City Sports Complex with me and my partner, Patrick McGann. I'm Anita Tachia. And we are looking here at a 3-2 score. Utah is leading Colorado State. Again, we've mentioned before, they've been out-shooting Colorado State quite a bit, like almost 2-1. And we are seeing some things here. We've mentioned briefly, they're developing their plays. They're sticking to their strategy. They're not just going into a shooting match or a shooting fest to try and just rack up points for no reason. And, that's going to be important because they need to keep that discipline for tournament play.
Right, and just also back to your original point, how it's the last home game and also the last home game for a couple of seniors. But what a great season we've had up here in the booth, having a great time. I mean, this season, honestly, not to say anything negative, but I don't know, if I personally expected to see what I've seen from the women's program this year from University of Utah. I mean, they took, I wouldn't even say a huge step. They almost leapt. They flew a full, step forward in just development. And, really happy to be able to, watch all the home games, even catch a couple road games when they're on the road. But what a great year for this program. And, hopefully next season they'll get a couple more home games. The fall wasn't too kind to them scheduling-wise. But, as the program gets forward and as they build, they get the skill and they get the prowess. And then, someday they're going to be able to say, hey, talk to any university, and they'll be like,
Oh, and boy, Colorado State comes out of the chutes firing. 19-27 in the third period. They score on a rebound. It looks like Sarah Olsen kind of let that puck get away from her. The puck dribbled in, and I'm not sure who on Colorado State poked it in there. We'll be able to see in just a second. Looks like it might have been Darby Easterday, but I know that a couple of Colorado players were in there whacking their sticks around, and I think Utah got caught napping a little bit on their heels.
That, and also that's the most push I've seen from Colorado State this entire weekend.
Yes.
And
they've done that all weekend. We'd be talking about a different result.
Different story. I mean, you already know what the coaching staff did in this intermission. They lit a fire underneath them. They said, hey, this is the last period here.
It's 3-2. It's a one-goal game.
Right. It's a one-goal game. You have every bit of business being in this one, and so they lit a fire underneath them, and there you go. You could see the push from CSU right off the bat here.
All right, so 3-3. And I was actually going to bring this up as part of you talking about remembering the initial inaugural season for Utah women. I mean, we've mentioned it before, Colorado State has got talent, but what they're missing is just that actual ability to put it all together and connect the dots and tape to tape.
I think even less so than that, I honestly think that they just being on the road, whatever it is, because you see I think like you said, you see the flashes of the really strong play from the Rams, and I think putting it together is a little bit of an issue for them. But this is a team that also just up and down the ice, Utah's first season, just in every facet of the game outplayed Utah, and so they're very much so a similar team than that. I wouldn't say that they've regressed. I think it's just hard to play on the road. And it's also, hey, give Utah some credit, too. They're a better team.
Right. But, definitely Colorado State has had a long-standing program in women's ice hockey.
Right.
And it's like night and day the way they're playing today and yesterday.
And, and just to preface my previous point, I'm not saying Utah is necessarily the better team right now, in this game. I'm just saying they're better since CSU saw them last. And, it's hard, playing good teams isn't easy. It goes as an obvious statement, but, I think we've seen some flashes of some really good play from the Rams, and, they're putting a real big push on right now, and this third period should be, pretty
might
exciting.
Be a nail biter.
Might come down to the final
horn. That.
And you know what, Utah, they're not going to be happy if they come away with the loss. The coaching staff and the players, they want to win.
You bet.
Like we were saying, this isn't just a nothing game. And you see it in the NHL, you see it in any other sport where we made the playoffs. It's not a big deal. We can kind of let our guards down a little bit more. That's not what Utah's doing tonight. And you could tell, they're going to be frustrated with the loss tonight. They need this win. and like we said, finish above 500. It would be a really big thing. It would also be the first time in program history they finished above 500.
Absolutely. All right, Tori carries across into the corner. Back behind the net is Caps. She's doing a little wheelie and dealing. She's being opposed by Easterday. And finally, Samantha McCain lets off a one-time slapper. And Stripmater gloves it. We'll have a face-off.
And also worth mentioning that Utah last night broke the program record for wins in a season. They got 7 wins, and their first season they had 6. So good for them, and they want to keep adding to that. I mean, finishing, like we said, above 500 is a really good goal to set for your team. And you know what? I feel like at the beginning of the season, if you asked a lot of people if Utah would finish above 500, I think a lot of people, including the coaches of the WWCHL, would say no. But they came out to play hard, and you know, the league is now taking notice, and Utah's going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long time.
Yep, and again, you know, we've mentioned this before. This is a young team. They have talent.
Young team.
They're young. We're going to get to have them for a few seasons. This is also the first season for Braden Yo to be the head coach. She was the assistant coach in that inaugural season, so she's going to be around for a bit, and the team will get better.
And you know what's really beneficial to bringing Braden Yohan as the coach? First of all, I mean, just her hockey knowledge. Second of all, she knew what the old team looked like. She knew what the team really needed to do to improve. She saw why the team, might have only won 6 games in their first season, and she was able to take all of that information and all the players that she already knew and say, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it this way now, and we're going to play, with a different strategy. We're going to focus on different things. We're going to focus on, building a fundamentally sound team. And, just having the comparison there from the first year, she can say, hey, this will be our first season.
She's got the roadmap
right,
ahead
she does.
of her.
She does. She has the roadmap and the puzzle pieces to make this team what it is today. And that's not something you would get from someone you just hire who wasn't a part of the previous coaching staff.
Right. And in the meantime, Katie Plyer has gone into the box from Utah. She's going to have 2 minutes. It's actually 1 minute and 15 left in her penalty. So Utah's on the penalty kill. And looks like that squad's Michael, Hendry, Hansen, and McCain. And Colorado's getting ready to start something. Easterday carries across the blue line. She makes a drop pass to Harcrow. And, nice poke check there by Hansen, and it gets loose, and now she's got a breakaway. She's got a chance, but, she runs out of real estate. Puck gets ahead of her, and she can't quite finish it off, so she skates around. Short-handed, she sends it off to Caps, who goes into the corner, being pursued by Elkin. Harcrow's there to pick it up. And here comes CSU. They're starting something. Here comes DiMatti. She carries across the blue line. She's another powerful player for the Rams. Nice positioning there by Bai. She breaks that pass up. Puck stays in the Utah zone, and finally Caps clears it all the way out. 20 seconds left in the Utah penalty. Mills picks it up, sends it up to Gertan. Gertan's got some speed. She carries across the blue line on the right wing. Nice little drop pass to Mills. Gets poked loose. Puck's bouncing around, and Mills is unable to keep it. And here comes Crookshank. She's got one defender to beat. That's Elkin. She skates it across. Nice stick save by Strittmeyer.
Plyer out of the box here. She'll go straight to the bench, and another Utah player will hop back on the ice. Looks like it's going to be Michael.
And we're back to 5-on-5 for the teams. And Elkin sends it all the way around the boards, but Weber keeps it in. Hansen there fighting for the puck along the boards along with Weber. And the puck kind of ends up dangerously in front of the Colorado goalie, but Elkin clears it out. And Bai's got it in her own zone, being pursued by Thomas. She finally sends it up. Jake sends it back in. Bai's got to go chase it back behind her own net.
CSU's Kylie Mells getting the last goal there for the Rams, her second of the game. And that'll be her 10th of the season, the third most point getter on this CSU team.
All right, fighting for the puck again along the boards. Finally clears this Colorado zone, and Jakes is going to go chase after it, along with McCain and Blaha, joined by Hansen. And here comes Hendry. Hendry bounces it up to Litzinger and loses the handle on it. Puck ends up squirting out of the zone. Squirting out of the zone. Olsen's back there to retrieve it for McCain, who picks it up behind her own net. And unfortunately, she tries to send it out there. Hansen has a clear shot from the point. Nice save by Olsen. So we're going to have a face-off to Olsen's right in the Utah zone. Teams are tied up 3-3 in this third period with 13:35 left to go. And Colorado State wins the draw. Elkin with a nice wrister from the point, bounces off a few bodies, ends up near the circle. Mills with a shot, bounces off somebody's shin guard. She does manage to keep it in the zone. Scooped up by Harcrow deep in the corner, fighting for it with Bai. Mills again, trying to keep it in. And finally gets scooped up by Bai. She's going to carry it herself across the blue line into the zone. She's got help. Caps and Cruikshank are waiting there in the center. And Caps scoops it up, carries it through the circle, sends it across to Michael. Michael passes it off to Caps, who then passes it to Bai, who then centers it. Cruikshank with a nice little backhand shovel. And Stripmater jumps on it, smothers it. We're going to have a face-off to her left. It's also important to remind everyone that we don't want an overtime. We don't want to go in overtime because then that win doesn't count.
Right, it's a tie, and just important to note that actually, I believe, well, actually, I might actually take that back because I see some ties here on the conference standings here. In the men's level, the overtime result does matter for the in-conference game. So for example, in the WCHL, if Utah wins in overtime, that counts as an overtime win for them. In the ACHA, that counts as a tie. And I'm not sure, for sure it counts as a tie at the women's level in the ACHA if we go to overtime, regardless of the result. But I'm not sure if the overtime result matters for in-conference play or not.
Right. And again, we're not quite sure because it's a little hard to find that information.
Right, because
definitive information.
There are ties listed here on the WWCHL calculations that we have here. So that would lead me to believe that
the ties will actually matter, not as much as a regular tie.
Right, but then that also leads me to believe, why would you play overtime? So I'm not quite sure. We wish we really had more rules and more information on the WWCHL. Like we said, there's not much out there.
All right. So Elkin scoops it up in the neutral zone. She starts the play going. Nice little forward pass to DeMatisse. Leading pass, who skates it into the corner, being pursued by McCain, who managed to poke it loose for Caps, and here she goes. And she's got Litzinger with her. Litzinger sends it in deep. Caps chases it. Torrey's waiting for it in the slot. Caps skates through across the slot.
And this is what I'm talking about. We were talking about the end of the last period. I mean, she is just skating around with the puck.
Having a good time. She reminds me of our women's team equivalent of Che Landakuzik.
Yeah, I mean, and her ponytail's like an airfoil. It's always like flying in the wind. She's skating so fast.
It's fun to watch this team play. And Cruikshank, who's no slouch in the skating stick handling department, she actually ends up losing the puck. Mills, carries across the blue line. She's getting checked hard by Hendry. Bai picks up the loose puck. Back to Hendry. Hendry sends it up, trying to start something from their own zone. And Easterday carries it across the blue line, but it looks like maybe somebody got ahead of her. So
just barely offsides, I think, because all I saw was just a massive ram skating out of the zone.
Right.
And I think she just barely was offside there.
And she looked up. She was trying to wait, but just maybe half a step too quick.
Yeah, hard to judge
time
sometimes.
That just right.
You can get going on skates pretty quickly, and it's sometimes not too easy to stop on a dime.
Yep, absolutely. All right. And Howell sends a puck all the way around. Of course, Colorado trying to keep it in. Watler keeps it in. And it looks like is that Gertan. She's got a chance. She goes for a shot almost on top of the goalie, but Olsen makes a nice save. And we're going to have a face-off to her right. 10:32 left in the period.
You know, and down the stretch here, you can see Brooke Burns. She was just on the right of your screen there. She's actually just almost she has the puck now.
Yeah, she has the puck.
This is when the coaching staff, might even turn to those seniors and say, hey, this is your last home game. Make a difference now. Let's get this game, back in our favor. Let's get ourselves a 4-3 lead, and let's do it. Make your last game really count. And, Brooke Burns out there right now, really going to try and make a difference for the Utes down the stretch here.
sort of like when a band announces their last tour.
Right. It's like you gotta go out with a bang here. You gotta, get that game-winning goal, and that'd be the cherry on top for your career here in Salt Lake City for the Utes.
I think that's an excellent way to put that. Go out with a bang. Let's go out with a bang, not a whisper. And Brooke Burns, of course, is in the history books already as being the first Ute to score a goal for the women's D1 program.
And I believe also the first captain in program history, which is a big deal. That's, being shows. And, a lot of teams, when they first start up, whether it's in the NHL, whether it's in, the Pro Women's League, whatever it may be, a lot of teams actually opt to not choose a captain right away because they'd rather wait and see how that plays out. When you come out and define your captain right away and say, you're our captain, here's our first ever, game in program history, that's a big deal. And that's a big weight to carry on your shoulders. And, who else better than Brooke Burns to carry that weight and to be the leader of this team from, the first season and now into her second season. It could have been easier for her to say, I only get 2 years of eligibility, whatever it is. But, she's here and she's making herself, her presence known and making a difference for this team.
And she knows, she knows that she's setting the bar for everyone to follow.
She is. And now the girls who will be, next year and the years after will, feel her mark. And she's, like you said, Anita, she set the bar. The captain next year, they have a lot of work cut out. Big shoes to fill.
And I think it's also important when a team is this young, as I mentioned, over half the players are freshmen. The coach is obviously, the coaches, but when you have a strong, mature leader who's actually, on the team, they are there to then help be the peer that everyone emulates.
Right. You know what? Players-only meetings exist. That's a thing, and those are things that are facilitated by the leaders on the team, the captains and the alternates, and you know what? It's important to have that as well because the coaching staff is obviously very important. They set the standard, but the captains in the locker room, that's the example of the peer leader, and that's when you have coaches or whatever it may be telling you what to do. Sometimes it gets hard after a while to just get be told what to do with this and that. But when your captain says, listen to these guys, listen to what they're saying, or let's do this, let's do that, the players really take it to heart even more because they're saying, yeah, this is one of us, we're players.
Right, one of us.
And so, you know what, you take her words to heart, and, Brooke Burns is going to leave a huge mark on this program.
All right, so we're going to have a delayed penalty on Colorado State. Well, not delayed very long, but anyway, that was going to be a tripping. Somebody tripped up Hansen. So let's see who's going to the box. Is that DeMatteis? I believe that's DeMatteis is going to the box. 2 minutes. So with 7:17 left of the period, Utah's going to be on the power play.
He's a young Colorado State fan right next to the penalty box. You can see her walking back up to her family in the stands now. But even going back to last season, or 2 years ago before the COVID pause, the Colorado State fans travel very well. I would say out of most teams that I see come in here into the Salt Lake Sports Complex, I think I'd say it's safe to say at the women's level they're one of the best visiting fan bases that we've noticed so far.
Yeah, they seem to have kind of assembled to our right here.
And there's a couple.
And it's a pretty nice sized crowd. I'd say a couple dozen,
and
maybe
then
30.
We got some people with some Colorado State gear on the other end of the ice as well. So it's just they travel pretty well. We're always happy to have the fans come here to Salt Lake. We hope they enjoy their time here. But down the stretch here, the fans got to get loud, make some noise for their respective teams.
All right, puck still in the Colorado zone. Minute 20 left in the penalty against Colorado State.
This is if you're Utah right now, you got yourself a power play, minute 15 to go on it. This is when you need to take the lead.
Right, this is your opportunity that you don't want to miss. Dickman skates it around into the circle to the corner. And tries a quick little wraparound. Nice save by Strittmander. Colorado's trying to clear it. Dickman keeps it in. She's fighting for it with Watler. Cruikshank picks it up, skates it into the corner. She's still being pursued by Watler. And she managed to get a little backhander. And then Dickman just misses a chance to try and pop it in there. And Colorado State managed to clear the zone all the way to the other side. 38 seconds left in the penalty against DeMatteis. Utah recovers, and then Stevenson loses an edge, but she does manage to get the puck ahead. And then it gets sent back in. Bite's going to collect it in her own zone. Up to Caps. 21 seconds left in the penalty. Oh, and a little miscommunication. Caps kind of skated the puck right into Plyer's feet, but Stevenson picks it up. She goes for a wrister that bounces off shin guard. Stevenson again from the point to Hansen in the corner. Hansen skates it across the slot. Again, looking for someone into the circle. She's going to skate it in towards the goal. A nice little wrister there, deflected by Sturtmater. Both teams back to full strength. DeMatteis heads to the bench. And Swanson from Colorado State joins the party. Puck's stuck along the boards with Plyer in there. Hansen is in there. Bai sends it back in, and it bounces off somebody's chest and out. And oh boy, here comes Swanson. She's got one person to beat. That's McCain. She gets it by her. Nice wrister. Deflected by Olsen. And then Mel's with a one-timer from the circle. Goes a little wide. And Colorado State tries to keep it in. They do, but then Utah recovers. Here comes Hansen. She skates along. She's got Caps. She tries to send it across the Caps. Was poked loose by Gertan. Gertan turns it around, sends it up to DeMatteis and Jakes is dangerous. She comes down the left wing from the circle and wrists it right in top shelf.
Yeah, just beating the glove there of Olsen. That's a quick wrist shot. For Utah, I mean, you just let CSU walk right in and have that shot. You can't have that happen, obviously, this late in the game. And, I mean, that's just a thing of beauty. Like I like to say, that's a laser right to the back of the net on that glove side of Olsen, and not many goaltenders are going to be able to get that glove up in time for a shot like that. And that was too easy for CSU.
Olsen had to keep an eye on it. DeMatteis was coming up the middle, and she's basically split between the two oncoming skaters. But yeah, you're right. It was too easy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the few times we've seen Utah kind of be on their heels there this whole entire weekend. I don't know what it is.
And Grace Cruikshank says, well, enough of that. We're not going down on a fight. She skates across the blue line, and she top shelves it. Tie back up 4-4 with 4 minutes, 4 seconds left of the period.
And now this is going to come off as maybe not as intelligent of a statement as I'm intending it to be, but scoring that quickly right after is very
huge.
Important. That's huge. And that goes as an obvious statement, but that didn't allow Utah to get their heads into a negative headspace, right? They just concede a goal with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. You're not feeling too good, a team that you beat yesterday. But getting right back on the board immediately after that is very important. Now they play with more confidence, and I wouldn't be surprised if Utah's able to net one more here with, the
4 minutes. We got plenty
with
of time
the momentum
to score
they just grabbed right there.
And I should mention that Grace is one of our alternate captains, and that's what a leader does. They know exactly what to do, like you said, to keep the team from dropping their momentum, keep them in the right mind space. Say, look, guys, we don't have to be afraid of that goal.
Right.
Take charge.
Right.
And again, keep the team going with the the positive.
And there are teams that would just let that negative energy eat them up after a goal that CSU scored. But Utah, and I was afraid Utah might do the same. I saw the coaching staff, I saw Braden Yo grab the whiteboard, right away saying, all right, we're going to have to draw something up. And that's when obviously it's important to draw up those plays, but that's when kind of desperation mode sets in a little bit more. And playing desperate isn't always the best thing to do.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's not a negative to say about the Utah coaching staff at all. It's like you have to do what you have to do, but when your players kind of have to play more desperately when they're down a goal, it's like they're not usually playing their best hockey.
Right, absolutely. That was a critical moment that Cruikshank came in and stepped up.
I mean, and also none other than Grace Cruikshank. I mean,
of course.
She's going to be the player on this team to score a goal like that. And like I said about the last goal, that's a laser of a wrist shot right there. And she tucked it right over the shoulders of the goaltender, and there's no chance any goalie's making that save.
All right, here comes Hendry. She's nice center press to Cruikshank, who just whiffs on the the centering pass.
Her blade, she didn't get enough blade on it, obviously, and you know what? She was right there. She gets enough stick on that a different time, and we might be talking about a lead for Utah.
All right, so we are still knotted up 4-4 with 2 minutes left in this third period. Here comes Hendry. Nice little pass to Michael.
Can confidently say.
Oh, looks like that's going to be offsides. I think Cruikshank got like half a step ahead of her.
Yeah, it was just in front, but I can confidently say now both teams have been awakened now, and this is the best hockey we've seen from both teams at one moment this whole game. We've seen
the last 10 minutes of the game.
Right, we've seen flashes of good from CSU, flashes of good from Utah. Now both right now playing their best hockey the entire game, which is fun to see.
This is the way to end a season.
Right. Imagine if Utah had not clinched yet. This would be even more of a nail biter.
Even more of a nail biter, more furious.
Approaching underneath, 2 minutes to go. This is when heroes are made.
Oh man, and speaking of which, Swanson with an opportunity, and Olsen cool as a cucumber, gloves that, and just, I got this, don't worry. I got your backs, gals.
Putting the team on her back, making a big save.
Patrick, I have to point out, you grabbed your head when Swanson got the breakaway.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was a little bit nervous there. That was a good chance for CSU, but Olsen there to make a big stop, just like she has been many times before this season. Is, as we've been saying, her and
absolutely, we've been blessed
Griswold,
with 2 rock solid.
I mean,
goaltenders.
a lot of teams might even say like, why would you split time between your goaltenders? That's not smart. Like you want to develop one, but if you're able to develop both, now Utah has basically photocopy goaltenders of each other. Their stats literally display it. And they're almost identical in stats, and it's special to have those 2 great solid goaltenders.
Right, not matching middle of the road, like matching at the high end.
Right, and I mean like you got here, Griswold, after coming into this weekend, a 150 goals against and a 950 save percentage from the previous weekend.
That's amazing,
and that's against a top 10 team, folks. I mean that's a big deal.
That's amazing, and so props to goaltending coach Rodney Stett for that one. Oh, Cruikshank almost had another one. Goes a little wide. Puck stays in. Colorado State trying to keep it out. By trying to keep it in. And finally it gets whacked loose, looks like by Mills. And Swanson gets a chance, but McCain stays home and does her job. She pokes that puck loose. 29 seconds left in the period. McCain scoops it up, works it up along the boards, gets it up to Cruikshank, who sends it in deep. Easterday picks it up, sends it up to Swanson. Swanson gets it up to Mills. And Utah recovers. Weber sends it up. We're winding down to the last 2 seconds. And that is it. We are going into overtime, folks. So we're going to have a short intermission. The teams are tied 4-4. And when we come back, we'll have a sudden death.
Well, we can talk through this little intermission. We got 2 minutes, as you can see there on your screen, of a break here. And you know what? The Utes, good fight coming back, but also CSU. I mean, obviously we really turned it around. We were watching the Utah hockey live stream, but credit to CSU for coming out and playing a really good game today. You can tell night and day from yesterday's performance to tonight's, and you could tell they came out to play. And like I said earlier this game, I think what you're seeing from CSU is more representative of the team that they actually are. I think this is how they play, at home, and when they get settled down on the road. I think it's a team that might not be as easily accustomed to playing on the road as other teams are, and that's part of being a good team, right? And that's why they, part of why they could have lost last night's game, but they got their legs underneath them now, and they're playing a lot better hockey. And, credit to them. They're playing, a lot better than last night. But also for Utah, I wouldn't say it's a regression tonight, but maybe less urgency because, now that they have qualified.
They have clinched. And, again, Colorado State is also in the same position. This is senior weekend for them. So what a nice little way to finish their careers at Colorado State for their seniors.
Right. This is, their end of the season, too. Obviously Utah getting that spot over them, even though CSU held that spot for a while this season. So Utah coming from behind to get that playoff spot. But you want to make it worth your time being an athlete at this school, and playing in high school sports. I know what it's like to play your last game, and it's sad. It's not, you hate having to eventually take off that jersey and never step foot back out on the ice or the field, whatever it is, and it makes you play that much harder. It really does.
Absolutely.
It makes you put that into your game. It says, I want to leave this program as, with a win.
All right, so we've got 3-on-3 action in the sudden death, and no surprise, it's Caps, Cruikshank, and Bai for the 3 for Utah. Harcrow, Mells, and Easterday for the Colorado State. And the puck is going to be flying with a lot of open space now. 3-on-3 means there's a lot of space. And Utah's setting up their strategy. Oh, and Bai loses the handle on a rare mishandle by Bai. She has to come back into the neutral zone and get that started again. Caps. Nice little drop pass for Cruikshank, but boy, she's got 1-on-3, so can't really get past them. Mills sends it up to Harcrow. Harcrow carries across, doesn't carry it across the blue line. I'm sorry, she does a little reverse on, she fooled me. She dumps it in deep, and she goes back for a line change. Utah keeps their 3 on the ice, and they get something started. Here comes Cruikshank. She drops to Bai. Bai decides, hey, I got nobody in front of me. I'll carry it across myself. She goes into the circle, ends up in the corner, being back checked by Easterday. And Jakes picks it up, and they're fighting for the puck, man. Boy, neither side's going to give in. 3 minutes, 52 seconds left this overtime, and DiMatisse picks up the loose puck. She goes for a wrister. Nice save by Olsen. Couldn't happen at a better time. Good job, Sarah Olsen. Hansen, DiMatisse fighting for it in the corner. Hansen comes up with it, and it gets poked loose. Still poked loose, and watch out. We don't want Jakes anywhere near that puck, and thank goodness. Looks like Plyer heard me. She pokes that puck loose. She's in the corner. She sends it around to Hansen. Hansen fighting for it along the board. She does a quick little reverse, and I think she's got Harcrow beat. Harcrow looks a little gassed. Plyer sends it up. Elkin's going to go chasing into the corner in her own zone. She wraps it around the boards to Harcrow. Harcrow sends it along the boards. And Cruikshank scoops it up in her own zone. She skates around. Up to Hansen. Hansen, tries for a centering pass. That was not a good idea. She sent, Harcrow scooped that pass up. She saw it coming, just picked that up, and boy, we were lucky that one went wide.
And yeah, you can tell Hansen's a little bit frustrated about that one. Wasn't a smart play, but she'll put that into her play now.
Right,
she'll play that much harder.
Absolutely, and that's a risk with a 3-on-3. You got a lot of ice to cover, and those passes are all long passes. Here comes Gracie Caps across the blue line, and she carries it into the circle. Nice, Cruikshank was there. She thought she had a chance, but it goes all the way through, and now here comes Gertan. And Weber ends up with it. She sends it up to Cruikshank. Cruikshank with a little reverse. Nice little pass to Gracie Caps, and she's just got one gal to beat. That's number 29, Darby Easterday. Nice save by Strittmater. Gertan fighting for it along with Caps. Finally pops out. Weber to...
We've not had any stoppages in this overtime
not at
period.
all. Like this full-time, full-on skate. All right, Weber's got to go chase in her own zone, and we got 1:47 left. And here comes Weber. Nice little pass to Michael. Michael to Dickman, just gets by her. Dickman and DeMattis chasing into the corner, and it clears the zone.
That's a really bad mishap there from Utah.
That was. Here comes Jakes. Nice D.
Weber coming off the ice. The puck was right underneath her skates. You don't make the line change in that situation. You should stay on the ice and play the puck.
Yep.
And unless I wasn't paying attention, unless another Utah player already hopped out, it could have been too many women on the ice. But still, that gave Colorado State a big chance.
And now, to make matters worse, we've got Burns going to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. So now
it'll be
Utah's down.
Dykeman actually going to the box for
Dykeman.
the Utes. And that's a big that whole play there from Utah. That's an example of a penalty that I talked about yesterday, where you're playing, you fall behind the play, because of the bad mishap from that bad change from Utah, not forced to take a penalty, but that's what happens when you're behind.
Yep.
Tripping's a penalty you take when you're behind, and that sequence there not very good for Utah. But if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to do it shorthanded.
All right, we've got Hansen taking the face-off against Harcrow. Cruikshank goes back there to scoop it up. And Colorado State has the control. Easterday from the point. Sends it across to Mills. She skates into the circle. She's got a wide open net. We got saved by the post.
Oh, my goodness. And now here comes Hansen once again.
All right, nobody's going to catch her once she gets ahead. Here she is, one-on-one with the goalie. and what a save by Strittmater. Full splits, down on the ground, keeps the puck out of the net. 58 seconds left in the period. Here comes DeMatteis going the other way. She's got company. Mills tries to go for the deflection. She goes down, no call, no whistle. Hansen picks it up, skates it into the corner. She's being battled, but Jakes managed to take it, strip it from her. Swanson's chasing after Hansen. Hansen's is down. We're down to like the last half minute.
You could tell Hansen's tired. When she picked up that puck, there was no urgency. And that's what happens when you go on a breakaway that big.
Yeah, breakaway that big with only two other people, line mates. All right, here comes By. Wrister from the top. Strittmater has it all the way.
You know what, Hansen, that very similar opportunity she had, obviously, on the breakaway earlier on the game where she converted. She was going forehand the whole way. I feel like the goaltender could definitely tell. I think if she pulls that backhand, she's got the goalie beat there. But I think she waited just a little bit too long to shoot that puck because the goaltender there for CSU, Strittmater, her pad had the perfect angle to the point where there was no chance that Hansen was going to be able to lift that puck up over her pad. And so, first of all, that's just great fundamental goaltending there from Strittmater. But second of all, if Hansen maybe fires that puck off a little bit sooner, makes one more move,
gives herself a little bit more.
Utah might be a different story. We might be already signing off by now. But But again, we're up here in the booth talking about that. That's a really hard play to make. Hansen, all the credit to her. There's a lot of pressure on that sort of play. And so, you know what? You're not going to score on every breakaway. She already got herself a breakaway goal earlier on in this game. But just the broadcaster breakdown of kind of what happened back there for Utah.
All right, so Utah took their one timeout. And there's still 54 seconds left in the Dickman penalty.
And I think, Utah taking that timeout, they got a face-off in the CSU zone. They got a chance to win it and get a shot off right away. 20 seconds. That's plenty of time to win a face-off and even pass the puck around for a little bit there. But I also think they're doing this to get their top line out there for the Utes. You got Hendry, you got Caps, and it looks like you also got Hansen out there for Utah. So this is a chance to,
And Hendry's a scoring defender.
Right, she can shoot the puck, and that's why you see her up there at the high point. Look for her to take a shot if Hansen wins the faceoff back to her.
All right, Colorado State wins the faceoff. Mel sends it up to Harcrow, and it's Harcrow versus Hendry.
That's an excellent play by Hendry there.
Yep.
You can see
Beautiful play.
that the forward there was trying to dance around Hendry. Hendry stayed home the whole time, and she played the body. She played the body right there.
Absolutely,
shut down the angle. And that's an excellent play.
She didn't go for the puck. She didn't go for the dekes.
Right,
because
there are some players that would jump for the puck in that situation. That's absolutely what you don't want to do. Really nice defensive play by Hendry.
All right, so Caps has got in her own quarter. She's being hounded by Harcrow. Mills comes in to help, and Caps comes on with it. Easterday goes for a swing at it, and we are going to end this overtime period. Still tied up 4-4.
And we'll go to a shootout here. We'll get to see
I haven't seen a shootout for the women
shooter
this
and
season.
goaltender. I have not either. I don't even think I've seen a shootout in this rink since being a broadcaster here, so this is pretty exciting. And you know what? There are a lot of opinions on the shootout. If it's good for the game, bad for the game, and if people like it or not.
Now, explain to me, is it a sudden death shootout?
So I believe it's a 3-framed shootout. So whoever has the advantage at the end of 3 frames in the shootout, or if it's tied, it continues to go. I believe that's how it goes. There'll be a team that shoots first, and then whoever has the advantage after 3 frames wins. But if it's tied after 3 frames, you continue to go until there's a winner. So
if you're say your coach Braden Yo, who do you send out first? Your best shooter or your a little bit down from the top?
That's an interesting strategy whenever it comes down to shootouts in hockey. It's where do you want to put your shooter? For me, I would put my best shooters first, because if putting the pressure on early in the shootout, it makes the other team make a move. They're the ones that have to respond. You could see the coaching staff, Braden Yo and Rodney Stett, talking about who they want to shoot. And for me, I think you put your best shooters first, and then obviously as you get deeper in, maybe the shooting power decreases, but it forces the other team to respond. So That's just me, but here we go.
Looks like Colorado State's going to send out Kylie Mells as their first shooter, and of course she's going to be facing Utah's goalie, Sarah Olson.
Mells has herself 2 goals tonight. This would be for the hat trick, and the 3rd leading scorer on this team.
Yeah, she's no slouch for sure. And off she goes. And Olson comes way out, and Mells' shot goes wide.
Olson, yeah, she's coming out to shut down the angle. I know people who aren't familiar with hockey are like, why is the goaltender charging the player there? But she comes out to shut down the angle. It's also part of an intimidation factor there, especially in the shootout when tensions are so high. Nice job by Olson shutting down the angle. I was afraid she might get beat to her glove side there, but she was able to force the skater all the way to her left.
And for Utah, Gracie Capps is going to face up against Strittmater. And nice stick save by Strittmater.
Strittmater just barely holding on there. Capps would have just danced right around it. She does a good job playing an aggressive stick there from the goaltender Strittmater for CSU. She's able to get her stick on that puck.
She took a bit of a chance.
She did, a little bit of a chance, because
or it's not.
Utah would have been able to beat, or Capps would have been able to beat Strittmater no problem had she not done that.
Next, it's Emily Jakes for Colorado State, and she comes down, and again, Olson comes way out and stops her. And then, and the interesting thing in a shootout is there's no rebound chances. It's like one shot and that's you're done.
The play's dead after the goaltender touches the stick, or after you skate by the goaltender, and you actually can't go backwards in a shootout. So if you go backwards, the play is also theoretically
nullified.
Dead. It's sometimes hard to do that if you can tell with that for some spinoramas.
All right, here comes Hallie Hansen for Utah. Strittmater does not come out nearly as wide, and she gets it in.
Players making moves, deking out this and that. Sometimes you don't need to fake out the goalie as much as you think, or make those dekes. Just having quick wrists like you see there from Hansen. She tucks it right past the goaltender there, and that's a big goal for Utah.
All right, now here for Colorado State, it is Darby Easterday, and she ties it up with
we should have mentioned that
backhand.
We should have mentioned that was to stay in the game there. This is the beginning of the third frame. So if she doesn't score there, that's the end of the game. Now Utah, it's Grace Cruikshank. No, you don't want anyone better right here than Grace Cruikshank, the perfect player for the situation to win the game here for Utah.
A nice stop by Ellie Strittmater.
Yeah, I think she came in with the angle she didn't want there. When you're coming in on your forehand side, on the opposite side of where you're going to shoot, you're not always going to have a lot of luck. She was going to try and, wrist shot it just like you saw Hansen did there, but the angle wasn't as good as she might have hoped for.
All right. And now for Colorado State, it is Michelle Harcrow. And what a save by Sarah Olson. Stuck with her the whole way and denied.
Stuck with her the whole way, able to stick her pad out there. I think she was confident enough that player wouldn't be able to tuck it over her pad given how close she was to Olson. She sticks her left pad out, makes a really big save.
Okay, Olivia Howell for Utah.
This looks like it's Hendry.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It is Isabel Hendry. And she just makes it look so easy.
And she just walks right in right there, and Utah getting a big win against CSU, coming back after going down with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. And a big shootout win for the Utes. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes keep it simple in the shootout. There's no need to make the fancy move or to be cute. Keep it simple, flip those wrists, net that puck, and win the game. The newcomer for the Utes, Isabel Hendry, netting the game-winning goal.
Newcomer in that she wasn't even here at the beginning of the season. She came in partway through the season, and boy, what a contribution, what a contributor she's been to this team.
And that's just a well-fought hockey team, a well-fought hockey game by both teams this evening. I mean, what a game played by Colorado State as well. All credit to them. Great series with the Rams. Always a pleasure hosting the Rams. And Utah just not giving up. It's easy to give up when you go down with not much time left in the game. Grace Cruikshank coming back to tie the game, and then Hendry there in the shootout ending things and giving Utah the win here in the shootout. But, man, that was a really fun game to watch. Really happy for these girls. They go out in the playoffs with the 2-game winning streak. That's huge.
Great tune-up game.
Next weekend, they'll be down in Arizona facing off against the conference's best, and who knows, maybe they'll leave with some hardware and maybe earn a spot in St. Louis for the ACHA W1 national tournament. You never know, but that's
Wouldn't
it.
that be awesome?
Yeah, I mean, what a season it's been here for the Utes, and we actually don't have any information on the broadcast, if there will be a broadcast down from Arizona State, the hosts of the WWCHL championships, but
I would say your best bet is to check the ACHA website,
that
their scoreboard, to
also,
see if there's a link.
The women's hockey Twitter for Utah will also have updates on how you can watch them as well going forward. But we'll definitely have information posted on UtahHockey.com. But yeah, what a season it's been for these girls, and looking forward to see what happens down there in Arizona next weekend.
And I just want to say, for me, my first season on the broadcast, and a few of you have come by and told us, they appreciate it, and I wanted to tell you all how much I appreciate the comments, the support
Absolutely.
of my partner, Patrick McGann, who's been the most gracious broadcasting partner you could have. It's been a wonderful first season. I'm looking forward to next season. Thank you again for tuning in with us, and I hope you all stay safe and stay sane, and we will see you in the fall of 2022.